There is a quiet weight I carry every day. It doesn't scream. It doesn't cry. But it sits in my chest like a stone that never moves. Some mornings, it wakes up before I do. Whispers things I wish I didn't believe. You should have done better. You always mess it up. No one really needs you. It sounds like me, but it isn't kind like me. It doesn't care that I'm tired, or that I tried. It only sees what I didn't do, what I forgot, what I failed. And the worst part? I listen to it. I carry its words like truth, even when they cut deep. There are days I move through life on autopilot, smiling, working, nodding, but inside, I'm dragging old guilt like a heavy coat, worn out but too familiar to take off. Sometimes I replay moments from 5 years ago. A sharp word I said, a mistake I made, a silence I regret. And I punish myself again, even though it's long over, even though everyone else forgot, except me. No one told me that healing is not always loud. Sometimes it's just choosing not to hate yourself for one more day. Choosing to rest when your body begs. Choosing to say, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. I don't want to carry this weight forever. I want to breathe without guilt filling my lungs. I want to speak without my past choking my voice. I want to remember that I am more than what I've done wrong. So today, just today, I will not scold myself for being slow. I will not replay the past like a punishment. I will sit here quietly and say to myself, you have carried enough. You can put it down now, even if just for a little while, because maybe being gentle doesn't mean forgetting. It just means loosening the grip, letting the hurt breathe, letting myself be human again. And maybe, just maybe, that's the first kind thing I've done for myself in a long, long time. There's a voice that lives inside me. It doesn't yell, it whispers. But somehow, it's louder than the world outside. It tells me I'm not enough, not smart enough, not kind enough, not strong enough. It reminds me of every awkward moment I wish I could forget. Every mistake I made when I was younger and didn't know better. It waits until I'm alone, until the room is quiet. Then it speaks with perfect clarity. You should have known better. You ruin everything. No wonder they left. No one truly loves you if they knew the real you. The voice sounds like me, but it's cruel. It doesn't care about the effort I gave, only the result I didn't get. Sometimes I wonder, when did this voice become so powerful? When did it become my truth? Was it a teacher's criticism? A parent's silence? Or maybe my own disappointment that I never learned how to forgive? But here's something I've learned. That voice is not my soul. It is an echo, a leftover sound from pain I never released. And just because it speaks doesn't mean I have to. Listen, I can hear it without believing it. I can feel it without following it. So now, when it begins to speak, I take a breath. I place my hand on my heart, and I say, I hear you. But you're not all of me. I'm also the one who's trying to heal. I'm also the one who wakes up and keeps going. And slowly, the voice begins to soften. Not because it disappears, but because I stop giving it the final word. That voice once ruled me. Now I'm learning to speak back with kindness, with truth, with the courage to say, I'm allowed to love myself even when I'm not perfect. I used to believe that every mistake needed a consequence. Every wrong word deserved silence in return. Every failure meant I had to earn back my worth. So I punished myself, not with loud drama, but with quiet guilt. I took away my own joy. I didn't let myself laugh too loud or rest too long. Because how could someone like me, someone who made so many mistakes, deserve peace? I thought guilt was the price I had to pay to be a better person. I believed self-blame was the same as responsibility. But I was wrong. Punishing myself didn't make me kinder. It made me smaller. It made me scared to try again. One day, I watched a child drop a glass of water. It shattered on the floor. She looked up, eyes wide, waiting for anger. But her father simply said, "It's okay. Let's clean it up together." That moment stayed with me because I realized we can clean up without yelling. We can grow without guilt. We can make mistakes and still be held with love. No one ever taught me that. They only showed me that shame was the teacher, that regret was the only way forward. But now, I'm learning something softer, something more human. Sometimes, a mistake is just a moment, not a sentence, not a label, not a reason to hate myself. So today, when I think of what I did wrong, I also ask, what did I learn? What would I do differently now? And then I whisper, that's enough. No more dragging the same regret across every new day. No more building walls around my heart to protect others from me, because I'm not dangerous. I'm just someone who's still learning. And not all mistakes deserve a punishment. Some just need understanding. Some just need a second chance. And maybe the person who needs to offer that chance is me. I always knew how to be kind to others. I knew how to listen, how to comfort, how to say, you did your best when someone felt like a failure. But when it came to myself, I didn't know how to offer the same kindness. I was quick to criticize, quick to push through the pain, quick to say, not enough after every effort. I treated myself like a machine. No room for rest, no space for mistakes, no softness allowed. Until one night, I caught myself staring at the ceiling, exhausted, heart aching, still blaming myself for not doing more. And I thought, if someone I love told me they felt this way, what would I say? Would I tell them to try harder? Would I say, you should be ashamed? No, I would pull them close, make them tea, tell them, you're not a bad person just because you're tired. So why was it so hard to say that to myself? That night, I tried something different. I wrote myself a short note. You are doing the best you can, and that is enough for today. I placed it next to my bed. The next morning, it was still. They're still true, still kind. That's how kindness to myself began. Not with big, traumatic acts, but with small choices. Drinking water when I forget, saying no without guilt, going outside just to feel the sun. It's not always easy. Some days, the old voice comes back, the one that says I'm lazy or selfish for slowing down. But now, I have a new voice too, a gentler one, a braver one. And it says, you don't have to earn rest. You deserve it because you're human. Kindness to myself is still a practice, not perfect, not constant, but real. And every time, I choose softness over shame. Every time I forgive instead of punish, I become someone I feel safe with, someone I can trust, someone I can finally call home. There are words I've carried for years, but never said out loud. Not to my friends, not to my family, not even to myself, because they felt too heavy, too messy, too dangerous to release into the air. I'm still ashamed of what I did. I feel like I ruined everything. Sometimes I don't think I deserve to be loved. They live in the back of my mind, tucked behind my smiles and polite answers. They come up when I'm quiet, when no one is around. When I'm brushing my teeth or folding laundry suddenly, the weight of unspoken guilt rises again. But hiding them hasn't helped. In fact, silence made them louder, like locked doors rattling with wind behind them. So I started whispering them, not to the world, but to myself. In a journal, in a mirror, in a quiet walk when no one could hear. And I found something surprising. Saying it didn't break me. It softened me. It gave me space to breathe. Because once the words were outside, they lost their power to haunt me. They became real, yes, but also small enough to hold. And once I held them, I could finally ask the question I never dared to ask. What if I forgave myself for this? What if I let the old versions of me go? The one who didn't know better. The one who was scared. The one who tried, failed, and still got up again. I will never be perfect. But I can be honest. I can be human. I can be someone who owns the pain, but doesn't let it define the future. So today, I say the words out loud, even if they tremble, even if they crack. Because truth spoken gently becomes something healing, not hurting. And now I know the things I never said out loud were never meant to stay locked inside. They were waiting for my voice to set them free. I used to think healing meant fixing everything, patching every scar, turning every mistake into a lesson, becoming someone new, someone stronger, brighter, untouchable. But healing didn't feel like that. It felt slower, softer, more like learning how to walk again after forgetting how to stand. There was no dramatic breakthrough, just quiet mornings where I chose to begin again. No loud applause, just deep breaths. I stopped asking, how do I become better? And started asking, how do I become kinder to me? The gentle way forward is not made of perfect steps. It's made of pauses, of turning off my phone for an hour to sit in silence, of writing down the thoughts that scare me, and reading them back with a tender heart. It's choosing soup instead of punishment when I feel low. It's going for a walk, not to burn calories, but to feel the breeze touch my skin. Some days I still rush, still fall into old habits of self-blame. But then I catch myself, and instead of spiraling, I say, it's okay, let's try again gently. The gentle way is not weak. It's brave in a quiet kind of way. It says, I won't give up on myself. I won't keep wounding myself just because I made a mistake. I won't confuse pain with growth. There is space for softness in my healing. There is room for rest in my recovery. There is a path forward that isn't paved with guilt, but with grace. So if you're looking for the way out, try looking for the way in, into your breath, into your body, into your own patience, because the road ahead may be long, but it doesn't have to be harsh. It can be quiet. It can be slow. It can be gentle, and still take you exactly where you're meant to go. Some days, the guilt comes back without warning. I'll be doing something ordinary, washing dishes, checking my phone, walking home, and suddenly there it is. A sharp memory, a painful flash, a sentence I said years ago that I wish I could take back, and before I know it, I'm drowning again in old shame, as if it just happened yesterday, as if I haven't grown since then. I try to shake it off, but the mind is tricky. It holds on, it replays, it whispers, if you had been better, this wouldn't have happened. And for a moment, I believe it. I go back to blaming myself. I go back to wondering if I'll ever be free from my past. But then I pause. I place my hand over my chest, and I remind myself, this is just a memory, not a mirror, not who I am today. The truth is, healing is not a straight line. It's not once and done. It's a circle, a cycle, a dance between who I was and who I'm becoming. There will always be days I feel like the old version of me, the one who didn't know how to speak kindly, the one who hurt people without meaning to, the one who stayed silent when I should have spoken. But I'm also the version who's trying now, the one who reflects, who apologizes when needed, who chooses love over punishment. So when the blame returns, I sit with it, not to welcome it, but to understand it, to hold it in my hands and say, I know why you're here, but I don't need you to lead anymore. Even now, I still blame myself some days, but I no longer stay there. I no longer let that voice decide who I am, because I'm not a perfect person. I'm a growing one, a healing one, a becoming one. And if today all I can do is breathe through the weight and not let it crush me, that's still progress. That's still healing. That's still me choosing, one more time, to be gentle. There was a time I believed my worst day defined me. The day I failed. The day I said the wrong thing. The day I hurt someone I loved. The day I couldn't get out of bed. I carried that day everywhere, like a name tag I couldn't remove. Like a shadow that walked beside me no matter how bright the sun was. It whispered, that's who you really are, the failure, the mistake, the mess. And I believed it. I wore it like truth. Even when people said kind things to me, I thought, they don't know the real me. But the truth is, we are not just our worst moments. We are also our best efforts. The quiet days we chose not to give up. The nights we comforted a friend even when we were hurting too. The mornings we got up even when the weight was unbearable. Our identity is not built on one bad chapter. It's written across the whole book, and the story is still going. I am the sum of many things, my regrets, my laughter, my hopes, my growth. And if I've made it this far, still breathing, still trying, still loving despite the bruises, then maybe I'm not broken. Maybe I'm just real. Today, when that old voice says, you're nothing but your worst day, I answer back, I am also the one who survived it. I am the one who learned from it, who got back up, who now holds space for others going through the same storm. So no, I am not my worst day. I am every day after it. I am the healing, the trying, the choosing, the forgiving, the beginning again. And that is enough to be proud of. Thank you for listening to Audiobook Healing. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button to spread positivity to others.